It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit.
America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. Men make history and not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. It's a recession when your neighbor loses his job, it's a depression when you lose yours. In reading the lives of great men, I found that the first victory they won was over themselves. Self-discipline with all of them came first. There is nothing new in the world except the history you do not know. It is understanding that gives us an ability to have peace. When we understand the other fellow's viewpoint, and he understands ours, then we can sit down and work out our differences. A pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunities, and an optimist is one who makes opportunities of his difficulties. When even one American, who has done nothing wrong, is forced by fear to shut his mind and close his mouth, then all Americans are in peril. Always be sincere, even if you don't mean it. The only things worth learning are the things you learn after you know it all. If I hadn't been President of the United States, I probably would have ended up a piano player in a bawdy house. All the president is a glorified public relations man who spends his time flattering, kissing, and kicking people to get them to do what they are supposed to do anyway. Intense feeling too often obscures the truth. I have found the best way to give advice to your children is to find out what they want and then advise them to do it. The Marine Corps is the Navy's police force, and as long as I am president, that is what it will remain. They have a propaganda machine that is almost equal to Stalin's. When you get to be president, there are all those things, the honors, the 21-gun salutes, all those things. You have to remember it isn't for you. It's for the presidency. I do not believe there is a problem in this country or the world today which could not be settled if approached through the teaching of the Sermon on the Mount. Those who want the government to regulate matters of the mind and spirit are like men who are so afraid of being murdered that they commit suicide to avoid assassination. My father was not a failure. After all, he was the father of a president of the United States. The White House is the finest prison in the world. You know that being an American is more than a matter of where your parents came from. It is a belief that all men are created free and equal and that everyone deserves an even break. The United Nations is designed to make possible lasting freedom and independence for all its members. I would rather have peace in the world than be president. You can never get all the facts from just one newspaper, and unless you have all the facts, you cannot make proper judgments about what is going on. The president is always abused. If he isn't doing anything. You can always amend a big plan, but you can never expand a little one. I don't believe in little plans. I believe in plans big enough to meet a situation which we can't possibly foresee now. A president needs political understanding to run the government, but he may be elected without it. Study men, not historians. A bureaucrat is a Democrat who holds some office that a Republican wants. Whenever a fellow tells me he's bipartisan, I know he's going to vote against me. The human animal cannot be trusted for anything good except en masse. The combined thought and action of the whole people of any race, creed or nationality, will always point in the right direction. I have no desire to crow over anybody or to see anybody eating crow, figuratively or otherwise. We should all get together and make a country in which everybody can eat turkey whenever he pleases. You and I are stuck with the necessity of taking the worst of two evils or none at all. So I am taking the immature Democrat as the best of the two. Nixon is impossible. Experience has shown how deeply the seeds of war are planted by economic rivalry and social injustice. Upon books the collective education of the race depends. They are the sole instruments of registering, perpetuating and transmitting thought. Any man who has had the job I've had and didn't have a sense of humor wouldn't still be here.